Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Aditya. Good morning, Shreyash. Good morning, Chandrasekhar. Good morning, Kunal. Good morning, Ritesh. Good morning, Meghraj. Good morning, Ishan. Good morning, Adesh. Good morning, Ayush, Aditya. So let's recap what we have gone through in yesterday's session. So basically, we had considered Cobra Commandos. Right? So Cobra stands for Commando Battalion for Resolute Action. That is Cobra. It is a specialized unit of Central Reserve Police Force. Specialized unit of CRPF. CRPF stands for Central Reserve Police Force. It was formed in September 2008. They have motto as victory for gallant in war. Right. The headquarters is at New Delhi. It is always headed by Director General. It is always headed by Director General. So they are proficient in jungle warfare and guerrilla tactics. Originally, the establishment of Cobra was to counter the Naxalite problems. And in order to attack the Naxalites within their own camps, the Cobras have created. Right? So that was the background of creation or the formation of the Cobras. Fine. So Cobras are always trained in guerrilla warfare, in field engineering. They are also trained in tackling of explosives, in jungle survival techniques. They are very well trained in tactics to fight insurgents. Right. Especially they are trained for jungle warfare, then some of the physical endurance, right, because they have to carry out a long march, right, or patrolling. Then they are specially trained to read the map, that is map reading as well as GPS. So their training consists of 3 months in the CRPF jungle warfare institutions at Belgav and Korapat. So Korapat is in Odisha. So their training is similar to NSG. Fine. And they are always trained to adapt to the art of camouflage as well as the jungle warfare with the main focus, right? That is of the jungle warfare. So they are always trained. They are also trained for heliborne insertion and drops, right? So after doing their this kind of training, so what are their roles? The role of Cobra is to carry out the reconnaissance. They have to carry out long range patrols. Cobras are Cobras have to carry out information gathering, right, or the intelligence gathering about where about the insurgents are, right? What are the points of the insurgents' mind? Then they have to also carry out ambushes, right? Ambush, ghat lagana. They have to also carry out the precision strikes whenever, wherever necessary, right? So the required precision strikes to be carried out, right? That is also a task of or the role of Cobras, right? And then we have considered two different stories. One is about the Shaurya Chakra recipient, right? So a Cobra commando, namely Ashish Kumar Tiwari, had decorated by the Shaurya Chakra, right? It was posthumously because the his bravery, right, which was single-handedly, right, he pinned down a squad of Maoists that includes their leader, right, Sidhu Sore, right, in the West Bengal. Though he was suffered by multiple bullet injuries or wounds, right, he was fighting till his last breath, right. And for that particular bravery, Ashish Kumar Tiwari got decorated by Shaurya Chakra. Another inspiring story is about the Assistant Commandant Usha Kiran. So, Assistant Commandant Usha Kiran is the first female Cobra Commando, right? Assistant Commandant Usha Kiran is the first female Cobra Commando. So, as far as CRPF is concerned, they have included in 2014 a Mahila Battalion, right? Name was 232 Mahila Battalion was included in the CRPF. So in that battalion, she had entered, and then after completing the basic training, right, she had been offered a uh, choice for the boarding, right, or the first posting, and she had asked for Jammu and Kashmir posting, right. So that one, and alongside, she had also requested to be inducted into Cobra Commandos alongside the main. Fine. And after some time, it got NSG, that is National Security Guard. Right, National Security Guard stands for NSG, which is nothing but an allied counter-terrorism unit, right, which is under the Ministry of Home Affairs, and it was established on 15th of October 1984. And, right, so it is for the combating terrorist activities as well as to protect the states against internal disturbances. Right. So the motto is omnipresent, omnipotent security. Right. Forget about this one. You can always keep in mind Sarvatra Sarvottam Suraksha. Right. The motto of energy is Sarvatra Sarvottam Suraksha. Right. So the headquarters is New Delhi, but their training center is at another place. Right. You can consider it is at Manesar. We will be looking into. Headquarters is at New Delhi, and again it is looked after by the Director General, called Director General of NSG. right, which is also called as the executive. So what is their mission? Their mission is to train, equip, and keep in readiness. They train, equip, and keep in readiness. Fine. So as I said, they will be always ready, right, within half an hour. Right? So within 30 minutes, they will be ready to deploy in any of the corner of India. Fine. We will be seeing that particular part again. So basically, it is a federal contingency. Basically, it is a federal contingency deployment force, right? Which was which has to tackle all the facets of terrorism. Any kind of terrorism is there, that will be always looked up by this one. Fine. So that is about energy. So let's continue. NSG. So we have reached to a point of their federal nature, right? So federal contingency deployment force, right? So as I said, as a specialized counter-terrorism force, right, energy is always intended to be used only in exceptional situations. So used in only in exceptional situations. Why I'm talking this? You know, in this year's January, right, energy was looking also the security of the politicians, right? Security of politicians. Fine. Then, okay, if it is, don't worry if it is, though it is blurred, I may share the screen. Yes, don't worry, I will, if it is having a problem, then I will share it, share the screen. Fine.
Sir, between it's become blur or sometimes become clear.
That is not in our control. We cannot do anything for it because ultimately, but I guess I do have a good network, but maybe the cloudy because of the cloudy situation.
Used only in exceptional student situation.
Yes, so it is used only in exceptional situations. Like we are talking about energy, fine. So it is always intended to use them only for exceptional situation, not for the purpose of the security. But you know, unfortunately, it had been used for so many. It had been used so many years for the purpose of security, fine, of the politicians. So that was not the good thing which you can consider, fine. Sorry, fine. So only in exceptional situations it has to be used. That is the intended use, right? That means what? It is not exceptional situation means what? Whatever the functions, right? Functions of state police forces or other paramilitary forces. Yes, Akshay, I will be. Don't worry about it. The blurring of the page. Fine. Fine. So, but follow me what I'm speaking, right? So whenever I will be going through the screen sharing, at that time you will catch it as early as possible.
Sir, but in between, it's a visible, sir.
Yes, exactly. So uh, that's fine. So though it was used for only exceptional situation, but that doesn't mean that it will be take over. It will be taking over the functions of state police forces or other paramilitary forces. No, right? So not to take over functions of police forces or other paramilitary forces. Fine. So always keep in mind it is not to take over the functions of police. Right. So over the years, its role had been extended, right? And I think paramilitary, whatever may be that, CRPF, right, SRPF, that you can consider, right? So even BSF, right? So that you can consider in that particular case. So I was talking about, over the years, its role had been expanded to provide national security, to provide security to the influential politicians or some of the politicians, right? Now, those who are having the threat, right? But 1.5 years back, there was one discussion, and during that discussion, it was put forward a opinion by one of the retired personnel that why don't you deploy energy in controlling the flood situations, energy in controlling the rewards, right? Energy in controlling the some of other kind of disaster management, right? So that was त्यांना त्रागा झाला होता तो, and he was fed up, right? He was completely frustrated by the things by the things that can be done, which uh, very recent removed, right? Those NSG, right, from the task of securing or from the task of security of VIPs, right? Because no, its focus is to counter to counter terrorism and anti-hijacking forces, right? So that would be the case you can consider. Now, okay, Sid, go ahead. No. No, I haven't said that. It's not. Fine. So withdrawn energy from these particular. Yes, exactly. That was about, yeah, okay. Okay. You have mixed it with that Cobra. No, it is not for Cobra, it is for energy. Fine. And then, okay, what I was talking. So their main focus is to counter terrorism and anti-hijacking force, right? So energy is always trained to conduct the counter-terrorist tasks, which will be including counter-hijacking as well, right? And that may be on the land, right? In the air or at the sea, fine. So that can be fine. Apart from this, okay. So energy is trained, right? Energy is trained to, right, conduct counter-terrorist task, counter-terrorist task, then counter hijacking tasks, right? So both these on land, in the air, or at water, right? We can consider sea, fine. Then they are always trained to dispose the bomb. So bomb disposal, fine. So what is the process of disposal? So very first thing, they have to search it, then they have to detect it, right? And then neutralization, right? Then they have to also perform the post blast investigation. So they are trained to post blast investigation, right? It is called PBI, right? They are trained to have the hostage rescue missions, hostage rescue missions, hostage rescue missions, right? So these are some of the tasks which are always assigned to the energy, fine. That would be the case, you will be always considering about it, fine. So here you can consider the equivalence, right? So according to energy website, right, so whatever they are saying there. So as far as the comparison is concerned, so energy is modeled on the platform of British years special year service, right? As like we do have energy, the Britishers are having the special year service, or Germany is having GSG 9, right, which is called Border Guard Group 9, right? Germany. So equivalent to that, particular case, so their training is being located at where they're right? So training, sir. Ideally, you can consider. Now, is to support the energy, the air transport to support energy is always located. Is always located at Indira Gandhi Airport, right? Which you can consider the Palam Air Force Station, right? So there, air transport support, air transport support is at Indira, or always located at Indira Gandhi Airport. Right, it is called Palam Air Force Station. Right, Palam Air Force Station. Fine. That will be the case you can always consider. Now, within this special, within this energy, you will be having two kinds of wings, rather three, right? Called Special Action Group SAG, Special Ranger Group SRG, and Special Composite Group SCG. Fine. So here you can consider these different things, right? Okay, prior to that, what was the what could be the selection and training process, right? So how the personnel are selected, right, and how they are being trained, right? So we can consider selection and training. Fine. So as like other commandos, the dropout rate, right, is very high. So around 80% is the dropout rate. Fine. So their training is of 14 months. Fine. Their training is of 14 months. No, it is at the training center at Manesar, right, as I said. And it is the training you can consider, then it is devoted. So 14 months at Manisa. Right, and that training is devoted to the basics, right? So their physical fitness has 26 different elements, right? See, keep in mind what could be the difference, right? Till now we haven't come across such kind of elements, right? So devoted to basics. Fine. And in this particular case, physical fitness, right, has 26 elements. See, only physical fitness is having 26 elements. Then you can consider modern use of modern equipments, right, will be having what kind of approach, right? So this is the case you can always consider it, right? If it is visible clearly, you can have this screenshot if anybody wants. Otherwise, let me know. If it is still a little bit blur, then I will put its I will share the screen. So let me know whether it is visible or not. Okay, that's fine. That's very good. So you can have okay, 26 elements. That's fine. Okay, let's consider what we can consider in the 26 elements, right? It is even for me, it is not possible to tell each of these, but I can take you around, right? Just once you finish this one. So let's go to the next one. Probably everyone must have. Okay, that's fine. So what could be 26 elements, right? So you can consider here the cross country obstacle, then jumping from heights, right? Then divides and scaling of different kinds of terrain, right? Then the endurance test, right, consists of the martial arts and target shooting at the end of the obstacle ridden cross country run, right? What we have considered in the Marcos, right? So after finishing everything, you have to shoot, right? Or you have to fire at the target, right? So the same kind of thing here you have to also perform, right? So what does it mean? Right? It means to gauge the candidate's performance under any of the conditions, right, of the stress or exhaustion, right? So those who will be successful or successfully complete all the tests will be sent for let's say 9 months advanced training, right? So see, you are seeing this will be the first thing where you are seeing 14 months training, which is basic training, right? And then further you will be having 9 months advanced training, right? So here what you can consider in these things, right? The cross country obstacle, fine. Then jumping from heights, jumping from heights, right? Then divides and scaling, divides and